Iwi Imhotep Nefer Kemet. Welcome in great peace to Egypt. I am General Wendjebauendjed. You can simply call me Wendjebau. I served as a general, high dignitary, and high priest under the rule of Pausanias I of the 21st dynasty around 1047 to 1001 BC. Even though I wasn't a royal personage, the fact that I held such significant positions permitted me to get the high honor of being buried in the royal necropolis. I have crossed the time barrier to talk to you about the army in ancient Egypt. This will include the army divisions, the defensive and offensive arms, the military costumes, the tactics and strategies during the war, and the enemies of ancient Egypt.
Once again, I have crossed the time barrier to talk to you today about defensive arms used by the army of ancient Egypt. In such a hot atmosphere, the Egyptians typically donned a quilted headgear. They also wore bronze helmets, though. To the shoulder, some of them sank. Others merely went down a short way below the ear level. 2 tassels were added to the peak, which ended in an obtuse point. They were either green, red, or black in color. A longer one had a wide border fringed at the bottom and fit the back of the head less snugly. It occasionally had 2 pieces or an upper and lower fold. Yet another, used by various corps of infantry and charioteers as well as spearmen. It had a fringed hem that reached the shoulder and was quilted as well. The front, which covered the forehead, was fashioned of a separate piece joined to the other section, although it lacked tassels and fit closely to the top of the head, widening towards the base. The corselet, or coat of scale armor, had metal plates arranged in around 11 horizontal rows that were held in place by bronze pins. A narrower range of plates was introduced at the throat's hollow, and 2 more plates were added above them to finish the neck's coloring or covering. 11 or 12 of the plates or scales covered the front of the body. This is what each scale looks like. The sleeves were made of 2 rows of similar plates that stopped less than halfway below the elbow. The majority of the corselets lacked collars. Both heavy infantry and bowmen had certain sleeves that were a bit longer, almost reaching the elbow. The typical corselet might occasionally reach almost to the knee. A kilt or other garment detached from the corselet often covered the thighs and the area of the body below the girdle. Many members of the light and heavy infantry wore quilted vests, which served as substitutes for the coats of armor. Some soldiers wore corselets, which extended only from the waist to the top of the breast and were supported by straps that crossed the shoulder and were covered in bronze plates. The soldier's chief defense was his shield. Its length was equal to about half his height, and generally double its own breadth. With the hair facing outward, the bull's hide was most frequently used to cover it. Sometimes it had a wooden frame within and was fortified by 1 or more metal rims that were nailed or plated with metal pins. Egyptian shields often have a little rise or swell towards the top and are square at the base with a round top. Near the upper part of the outer surface was a circular cavity in lieu of a protrusion, the use of which is not easily explained. They hung the shield from their shoulders using a thong that was fastened to the interior of the shield. Here is an example of a concave shield. The handle was so made that they might pass their arm through it and grasp a spear. But this might just be another way to depict the shield they are carrying. The handle might be positioned either vertically or horizontally across the shield. The latter, however, was its more typical position. Some shields were pointed at the summit. That was a clue on the defensive arms. In the next episode, the offensive arms will be tackled and their usage in the battles will be explained. So long.
Make sure to tune into my next videos. If you have any thoughts or questions, add them to your comments. Kindly press the like, share, and subscribe buttons. I'm Farag Sharabasi. See you in the next episodes. Thank you.